Hey everyone, it's Julianne Meyer, your host of Own Your Wellness, and I'm excited to be back. Happy Monday, everyone. Today, I have a very special guest, somebody who is a little bit younger than our typical guest. However, don't let her age fool you. She is quite intelligent and wise, way beyond her years. And I had the honor and the privilege of meeting her at the filming of The World's Greatest Motivators. And when I say this, I mean it with all sincerity. I've learned from her and you can too. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Miss Shelly Lifshin. Hello, hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello.
It
Hi,
is so good to
everybody. I'm
see
so
you.
happy to be here. Good to see you
So glad
too.
to have you here. So you're in Europe right now. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm currently in Montenegro.
Oh, how exciting. So
So beautiful.
so you're already traveling the world too. This is pretty amazing. I love it. You're already changing your perspective and seeing things with a brighter stroke. So that's pretty cool. So I don't typically do a huge intro with my guests, but I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and what you do because you're not just a student.
No, so hello, everybody. My name is Shelly, and I am 17 years old. I'm a world traveler, and I'm homeschooled, and I am a speaker. And so for the past 10 years, I've been traveling around the world with my family. So, I don't ever stay in one place. I always go places. And, along the way on my traveling journey, I got to meet absolutely incredible souls, absolutely incredible people, incredible leaders. And I'm just so grateful for, traveling. But most importantly, my goal in this lifetime, I feel like truly, is to impact the lives of as many kids and teens as possible. So I went to school and I saw all of these kids and teens and they're not doing well. And so I really want to be there for them. And I feel like I have this like platform, right, where I can share these messages and I can be myself. And so I feel like I'm just, in the beginning of that journey. I just started this journey, but I definitely got a long ways to go. And I'm just so grateful to be here with Julie today.
We're so glad to have you. There's something that if you notice in the beginning, I say that there is more to health and wellness than broccoli and burpees. And that has a lot to
I
do
love
with
that.
it's kind of funny, but there's so much truth to it as well. And there's so much more to it. I'm a health and well-being coach. So when I'm helping somebody say lose weight, for example, that's really not what the issue is. That's the symptom. The issue is the mindset and the thoughts and the feelings behind it. So, what would you say you notice is something that teens struggle with?
Oh my gosh, a lot of things, especially nowadays in the modern age. I mean, I had kids literally coming up to me in school and asking for my help. Like there were kids my age, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds coming up to me for help because school doesn't teach nutrition. It doesn't teach proper, things that kids really need to know. And a lot of kids were coming up to me with anxiety issues, mental health issues. That's a huge one right there. And also like some kids were, not at their peak state. Like they wanted to lose weight or they just wanted to feel better. And I noticed that anxiety is huge. And yeah.
Oh no, I love that. I mean, not that the kids are anxious, but that you're so insightful about that. So obviously you are wise beyond your years and able to help
Thank
others.
you.
And I'm, old enough to be your mother, but, but that being said, it took me a lot longer to actually get on the path to what my life purpose is. Why do you think that you're able to figure that out so early? It might be a strange question, but
Wow. That's a really good question, actually. Thank you. I honestly think so. My family is all about health and wellness, and we're a pretty conscious family. I mean, I wouldn't say my family is like perfect, but ever since I was really young, my mom always taught me a little bit of spirituality here and there. She would always put people like Tony Robbins on the computer, on the TV. So I got little bits and pieces along the way of all that. And, I could have easily said no. I could have easily thought, I don't want to listen to this, mom, and I could have went to my room. But I think what changed for me is when I stopped going to school. This is like huge. I literally became homeschooled at 13. And from that point on, my life literally completely shifted and changed. So I feel like when I was in school, I was very distracted. And when I got out of that system, all of a sudden this whole new world opened up to me. And I finally got the time to focus on myself, my passions, and my future. So I feel like because I have so much time in my day, I get to focus on these things. And also, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I feel like I have like past lives where I was an older person. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like people always say that I'm wise beyond my years, but it honestly feels like I kind of feel like I'm an older person, even though I'm in like, so, and also the homeschooling thing was huge for me. Yeah.
I love that. So now, I mean, especially with COVID, because I'm in California and things are really weird here and schools aren't really opened. So now people are being forced to be homeschooled, but it's an entirely different situation. There's a lot of resistance towards that and a lot of, I want things back the way that they were. Yeah. So how do you work through, I mean, you're human, so you come up against resistance as well. How do you tend to view that and work through it?
Yeah, so I try, like, do you mean how do I work through the homeschooling?
No, not that in particular,
COVID?
just resistance, because, there's
Oh,
things that
resistance.
yeah.
When I actually got into homeschooling, in the beginning, I was a little resistant actually, because I missed having friends and I missed company and I even missed my teachers. But because I had to travel so much, I had to like quit school for a while. I definitely had resistance in the beginning, but it was this kind of like fake resistance. Like deep down, I knew that I needed to be homeschooled because I feel like I came into this lifetime and I really need to like focus on what I want to do. I need to focus on serving others, but I couldn't really do that if I was in school from like 9 a.m. to 3 or 4. So when I got out of school, there was some resistance. And eventually I just kind of let go and I kind of forgot about all of that. And I still have friends from around the world. When I travel, I collect friends here and there, and they're all on my social media. So I'm still in contact with them, but there was some resistance in the beginning. I mean, every kid kind of has resistance towards homeschooling in the beginning. So
That's a really good point. So how do you spend your days then?
yeah, oh my gosh. So my days are different every single day. They're really fun. It's really funny. But I used to do a homeschooling program, and now I know this sounds weird and this might be controversial, but I am unschooled right now. So like literally I'm self-taught. I teach myself things. I listen to, educational stuff like Tony Robbins and all of these incredible speakers. And that has completely changed my life as well. When I got out of even a homeschooling system, like my mom was okay with that, and I know a lot of parents think that's crazy, but I literally just educate myself with all of the good stuff that adults are doing.
I really love that actually. And you're right, it is controversial. However, I went to Montessori, which is, I don't know if you know what that is,
Montessori,
but
I
yeah,
went
so
there too.
I got to pick what I wanted to study. And so I learned I could read real books, like grown-up books in kindergarten.
Wow, it's
So,
incredible.
I get that. It's not that you're lazy at all. I'm not accusing you
No
of
way.
that in any way, shape, or form. But I've never really understood the reason why I need to know calculus, but I'm never taught how to do my own taxes.
I
So it makes
know.
perfect sense to me that you're still learning and you're still growing. And think about all these super famous people that have really made something of themselves, like Steve Jobs, for example. These people that they didn't do the traditional route of school. Dale,
Definitely
yeah,
not.
Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, all these people that are just the greats. They didn't, I mean, it's kind of a Western thing more than anything else, I would say.
It
So what do
is,
you
but my
think?
days, yeah.
Yeah,
My days are kind of funny every day, like they're different. So sometimes I wake up and I do like, like a meditation or something. And I just do what normal kids do. I'm not like this, person that just meditates and listens to Tony Robbins all day. I listen to music, I go outside, and I just try to focus on my mission and what I'm here to do. Mainly right now, I feel like the past like 2 months have just been that. So every day is just a different day for me.
I love it. So since you are moving around a lot because of traveling, how do you help kids?
Yeah, good question. So right now I'm literally all on Instagram, all on Facebook. I'm trying to reach people through social media, and that has been huge for me. I actually got to reach 4 times the amount of people on social media than I used to do in person. So I have been literally like posting a lot of stuff on Instagram. I think social media is incredible. With a click of a button, you could post something and it goes out to the entire world. Back then, thousands of years ago, messengers would send out like a message to a couple people. And now it's like you could send out a message to millions if you really can. So yeah, I'm all on social media right now.
Well, actually, considering the situation in the world, I mean, that's the safest way to reach out to people
It
anyway.
is. Yes.
So,
And I feel like I could
um,
help out a lot more through social media, because a lot of people are on social media right now. So
exactly. So do adults reach out to you as well and ask you for help? I'm just kind of curious about that.
yeah, sometimes they reach out to me because they want me to help their kids mainly. So
Mhm.
it's not like, I mean, sometimes adults would come up to me, but it's mainly adults that need me to help their kids, or they need like a role model for their kids. And
Mhm.
usually it's kids that come up to me, but yeah.
So, is there anything that you feel like you need to pass along to other people, or is it just you're able to help whoever comes your way?
I feel like I'm here to pass things along to people, to like remind what I've been doing lately on Instagram is I have been literally posting like 2 to 3 minute videos of me saying whatever comes to mind, something that could make someone's day. So my mission is when somebody comes on social media, they don't waste their time. They get something out of their 20 minutes or half an hour. So when they come to my page, they literally get something out of it. So I have been posting tons of videos about, how to love yourself more, manifestation, and all of that stuff that kids are interested in, peer pressure, all of that stuff. And I noticed that I've been getting a lot of like replies of kids saying like, thank you for posting these short videos. I love your energy. I love what you're saying. Yeah. So I've just been posting those videos right currently.
So, something that I'm hearing you say that I think a lot of adults are missing is that people your age or maybe younger, you know, we're all human and we all want positivity and we all want to feel on purpose and we all want to grow as humans. And what I'm hearing you say is that sometimes adults don't even really see kids for as being, you know, real, I guess, for lack of better terminology. Like they think of them as kind of like less than in a
I
way.
know.
And that just breaks my heart.
It kind of does. I know. Like sometimes I even have haters.
Of
Like
course.
believe it or not, it's kind of crazy. All of us do. But sometimes it's like people say I'm a little too snappy, or like too confident, or too like self-absorbed. And to be honest with you, I think it's because it's a little bit like strange to see a kid so confident in a way. Like, oh, does she
Mhm.
have rich parents? Oh, like why is she so confident? Like, and I feel like all I have to do is just, continue being myself and continue doing what I'm doing. And, the haters will kind of fall away. But
Well, Shanda Sumner, she would say that you're doing a great job when you have haters. So
exactly. Perfectly said. She's amazing.
she is amazing. So what I'm kind of thinking about is, you know, parents don't really necessarily understand the dynamics of how things have changed for kids these days. Like when I was your age, there was no social media, there was no phones, there was no like cyberbullying, there was none of that. Yeah, I got bullied, but it was not anywhere near the level of what is available for bullying now. What would you think is a common thing that maybe parents could look at in helping them with their kids?
Yeah, I say this to a lot of parents actually. Something that you could do to help your kids is right now more than ever, kids need to be heard. Their voices literally need to be heard because what has been happening recently is that kids are afraid to use their voice, which is,
Mhm.
such a simple thing for us adults. But kids, kids feel emotions and all that stuff just like adults. And sometimes they just feel like they just can't speak up for some reason. And I was actually in that space. When I was in
Mhm.
first grade and second grade, I was so shy. I was scared to raise my hand to go to the bathroom. So, like, I understand that. But I feel like kids just need to kind of be in this place of like acceptance with their kids and be a little more open to hearing what your kids have to share with you. Because sometimes parents, can get a little bit too strict, and then kids don't see their parents as loving parents. They see them as like, strict dictators. But
Keepers.
to be honest with you, it's just like be open, be kind-hearted, and yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that parents don't always know what's best either. I mean, I know that that's going to be
We're all just trying,
controversial.
yeah, they're all just
Yeah,
trying their best. So
exactly. That is such a really good point because I know everybody does the best they can with what they have and, their own perceptions. So, there's something that I think is, I just wanted to circle back around to the confidence thing and with you. And, I think it's a little intimidating for some adults because you have an assuredness about you that most adults don't have yet. Just that sense of knowing and that just clarity. You have massive clarity. So it's pretty impressive. And I got like when I met you, I wasn't intimidated, but I was totally afraid that I was gonna like try and be like an energy vampire and like try and suck
no,
energy.
no.
I because you're just so positive and genuine and you're just there to
Thank you.
learn. So what are you reading these days?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm not a big reader, to be honest with you,
Okay, fair
but my
enough.
favorite books lately have been Think and Grow Rich. I love
Mhm.
that book. It literally changed my life for like last year I read it. It's amazing. What other books? Have you heard Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza?
Oh yes, I love Dr. Joe
Yes.
Dispenza.
I love him too. He's actually helped me a lot. Like, I'm doing all of these, I'm listening to all of these people, and I think that's helping me as well. So it's not
Mhm.
just like me that I generated like my own confidence and my own, you know, uh, energy field. It's kind of like all of these people came into my life and assisted me at the same time. So Joe Dispenza is a huge one. Think and Grow Rich. Magic of Thinking Big is a really good book. Yeah, just a lot of books on the law of attraction and the universe. I'm really fascinated by all of that. Books about spirituality and healing is kind of interesting. I was not interested in those books back then. They sounded so boring. But as I'm like getting older, I started literally becoming interested in books like that. Um, I don't know. Wow, I have
That's
to
really
think about
cool.
it because I'm not a big reader.
Well, you're definitely knowledge hungry, which is really cool. So I guess you watch things on YouTube or how
Yes,
do you? Okay. And do you have the opportunity to see Gaia, the channel Gaia?
Gaia. I don't have a subscription on Gaia, but I've heard it's amazing.
The reason why I'm mentioning it is because Dr. Joe Dispenza has some shows on there that I think you would really get some value out of. And I always recommend that because I don't really like to watch regular TV myself because I can find it to be like an endless pit of like a time waster for me. So, but there's things that I will always make time for, and it's something like Joe Dispenza or whoever Napoleon Hill. That's amazing though. So
Yeah.
here's something that I'm thinking about, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
Okay.
So, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is like a cult classic, and it is, like the Bible for success, and it's, just really amazing. And a lot of people have read it, but not a lot of people have become extremely wealthy. Why do you think that is?
Wow. I think most people dabble on little bits of information. So they read a book, but they don't actually do anything to utilize all the tools that they've learned. So basically, all of that they read was a total waste of time. People dabble on, I used to be like that too. We all are. Sometimes we get caught up in our everyday lives and we forget. But to be honest with you, what's more important? Watching the newest show on Netflix or actually reading a book and actually utilizing all that information? That is going to definitely change your life, and the Netflix show wouldn't, right? So it's like, what do you prioritize your time on? What's more important for you? And yeah, just like when you read a book, first of all, not all books might resonate with you, and that's okay. Like you could read a book that talks about the law of attraction, everything's great, but it just doesn't really resonate with you. So you could just read another book. But I think it's because people just they maybe don't even believe some of the things the book says. Like some people, no matter how many times people say that the law of attraction works and you can manifest anything and everything you want, which I believe in 100,000%, some people still don't believe it because I think that society has placed this like illusion around us, how like, no, you have to work 9 to 5, you have to work hard. That's all totally false. Once you pull yourself out of that matrix and then read the same book, it's going to look totally different to you. And then you'll actually want to apply the tools. So I feel like it's belief. And some people just kind of, they just don't really believe in what they're reading. And they don't think it's that important. Like they think it's also too much work to apply all of those tools. But again, it's one step at a time. So it's like, what do you prioritize your time on?
No, I love that. I really do. And, I was always thinking about that too. And then I realized, not only did people not want to do the work, but it also seems like it's too easy at the same time.
Yes, exactly. It is so easy.
And, the grinding that is so popular these days and all that, it's the matrix. It's this thing where, we're told that's the only way to succeed. And that's, if you can get your mind right, then you can accomplish a lot more than just, like chopping down a tree. And like, that's to me is grinding.
Of course. People always ask me, they're like, okay, but if you're homeschooled, like, don't you need to get like, don't you need to go to college, university? Like you need to go to school in order to do that. To be honest with you, I don't think about the future that much. People always ask me like, what are my plans in the future? I honestly only think of one step at a time. And what I did was I literally, work hard 9 to 5, money's the root of all evil. I literally took all of those phrases and dumped them like down the chute. Like I don't want to believe that. And you know what happens when you literally don't believe that and you pull yourself out of this illusion? It's literally true for you. Like I don't know how to describe it, if you know what I mean.
I know
like when you don't believe those phrases, your life like completely turns around. Like whatever you think you can do or think you can't do, either way, you're right. So it's the power of our mind and the power of our thoughts.
Oh, that is so well said. You are very intuitive as well.
Thank you.
And I'm with you 100% about school. I mean, if you want to become a doctor, then you probably should go to school. I mean, you kind of have to, but that's, but being a speaker and a coach, the kind of things that you're doing now is the exact preparation that you need. Wouldn't you agree? Shelly, are you there? I think we lost her. We're going to go to commercial break while we try and get her back. Hang tight, everyone. Oh, and while we're doing this, I just want to say welcome to everybody who's watching. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And isn't she amazing? I can't believe she's only 17. My goodness, what a woman. Anyway, we'll be right back. Hey everyone, we are back again. I was right, internet issues, but guess who made it back? Yay! Thank goodness for commercials. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to bring back our special guest, Miss Shelly. Hello, welcome
I'm
back.
back. Hi.
I was like, uh-oh, she's frozen. Well,
I know
that
my
kind of
internet's
happens.
crazy. My
Yeah.
internet
Well,
is so crazy because I'm in a village, so it's like crazy, and there's a storm outside.
oh
So
wow.
yeah,
Well, we're happy to have you back. I was just thinking about the way things should go technically. I mean, as far as we're taught, at least in America, because you traveling the world happen to know that there's different ways of viewing things because you've seen other ways. And I had the opportunity to live in Italy for a little over a year. And, when I lived there, I mean, granted, this was a while ago, but nobody had microwaves. Nobody had microwaves. It didn't matter if they were wealthy or not. Nobody had microwaves. They didn't exist. And, gyms weren't, I mean, maybe there was like 3 or 4, but it was like €1,000 a month I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it was so expensive if you wanted to join a gym. But like here in the US, those are things that are, you just can't live without. And so I love that you're showing that it is possible to live it completely differently. And you're giving hope to people who are already adults as well, because they don't have to believe everything they've always been taught, because it doesn't have to be true for them.
exactly. And yeah, when I go to every country, it's like I get to learn new things. I get to meet new cultures, like new people. I get to experience different ways of living. Like I've lived in a really crazy situation a while ago, and now I'm here, and I get to see all of these different things. And like you were saying about the microwaves, it's so funny because the way people live in America is completely different from the way people live in Europe, or every country has its own thing. And so I feel like traveling has literally enhanced the way I think. It's changed the way I think, for sure. It played a big role in
I
everything
love
for me.
that.
So
Yes, it does. And not everybody has that opportunity. So, it's okay. I mean, there's
of
no
course it's
judgment
okay.
either way. But I can't imagine not knowing about other cultures. I
I know.
actually spent 3 weeks in Morocco in Africa, and
Wow.
that was such an experience. I ended up staying in this village up in the middle of nowhere. They literally only one house had electricity, and it only would turn on for like maybe 2 hours or something a day. And the toilet was a hole in the ground. People would clean their clothes on rocks, and this
That
wasn't
is
that long
crazy.
ago. Yeah, but here's the thing, you know, our tour guide, when we were up there, he spoke 7 languages, and not once had he been to school. Like in
Seven
the
languages? That's
seven,
amazing.
7 languages, and he was so happy and content, and just like living his best life. And you know, he was by
Wow.
no means dumb because he didn't go to school in the traditional sense. I mean, I can barely speak English, so
It's incredible. Like these people learn how to adjust to their situation, and they kind of learn how to like survive in a way, like he
yeah,
had to learn 7 languages because he's a tour guide, am I correct? So
exactly,
people just
exactly.
learn to live with it. And when people don't know anything else, they're good. But
Yeah.
it's like if you tell a kid that we're broke, then the kid will get it. But if you don't tell him anything and you still kind of are, the kid won't notice it. So it's like people just kind of adapt to the situations they're in.
That's a really good point. I never even thought about that. I know that I was pretty self-centered when I was, not that I'm much different now, but I'm just saying, man, I'm not trying to put myself down. I'm
Of
just
course.
trying to say I see everything from my
I know.
eyes first. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I never even thought about that. Huh. So I would love to start talking a little bit about yoga.
Yes. I would
So
love to
you
talk about that.
are a teacher of yoga. Which kind?
Kundalini Yoga.
That is amazing. How did you get, and when did you get started doing that?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I started doing Kundalini Yoga about 3 years ago, I think. Oh my gosh. That's been a while already. And I used to live in Los Angeles. So about, yeah, a while back before I moved to Orange County, used to live in Los Angeles. And we went to this, me and my family, we went to this like yoga studio called Yoga West, which is really famous in Los Angeles. All celebrities go there and all that stuff. And in the beginning, I just like went there for fun with my mom. And then I fell in love with this yoga. It is so hard to describe, but if you guys have ever tried it, it's for all ages, literally for every living being out there. You should go try Kundalini Yoga. It is tremendous. Like, it changed my life. It's tremendous. It's incredible. So I did a teacher training there, and I met incredible people, and I became a Kundalini Yoga teacher. Uh, I was the youngest person to receive a certificate at the yoga studio. And so, yeah, I'm planning eventually when all of this ends, I'm kind of practicing and preparing, but I'm planning to teach. Maybe I'm not going to do it as like a full-time thing, but I want to do it on the side of speaking and all the other stuff. So
I love that. That is so cool. So you said it
thank
changed
you.
your life. How did it
It
change your
did.
life?
Yeah, so Kundalini Yoga is known to raise the energy from the base of the spine to the top of the head. I don't know if you've heard of it. And basically, that's what all yogas do. But somehow, Kundalini Yoga struck me the most because there's something about it when, like, everything, all the exercises, when you combine, body and breath and chanting,
Mm-hmm.
it comes in, like, something happens. And I don't even know how to describe it because, like, if you've ever done Kundalini Yoga, I don't know if
I
you
have.
did, you should try it because it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know how it changed my life. It's just like you start doing it and something happens. It awakens you. So most of us are, it's not a bad thing, but most of us are kind of like asleep, kind of like in this trance, if you know what I mean. Kundalini Yoga literally wakes the frick out of you. And you literally, you open your eyes it's like you've opened your eyes for the first time and you realize that like you've been living in a lie, or you just start seeing things from a different perspective. And it literally also heals your body. Kundalini Yoga is incredible. Like, if you want to heal a disease, heal anything, get stronger, get leaner, it does all of that. But I think Kundalini Yoga has helped me a lot with like opening my eyes and seeing what's real and kind of getting out of this trance state. And it forced me to focus on my subconscious thoughts, which is what Joe Dispenza talks about all the time. And yeah, we all have those subconscious thoughts that actually bring us down and stop us from succeeding and stop us from reaching our goals. And I noticed all of these subconscious thoughts that I had were really negative. Once I started realizing, even at a young age, like, kids think negative things. When I started doing Kundalini Yoga, it literally forced me to look at that dark side and acknowledge it and pass it through me. And so now I'm happy to say that, like, I literally am not attached to those thoughts anymore, and it's allowing me to propel forward. So Kundalini Yoga is really powerful.
That is amazing. And something that you mentioned that I want to just like highlight, I guess, for lack of better terminology, is that it's not just the movement of the body. There's so much more to it. That it's the
For
deeper
sure.
meaning and everything else that comes with that, not just like people trying to lose weight. Because I think that,
Yes.
especially in Southern California, I live in Orange County, so you know what Orange County is like. It is the land of fake believe, and there's a lot of people that are very, very stuck in the day
I
to day
know.
life. And it's not a judgment, it is just an observation. And I love everyone, even the ones that I, don't get along well with. But I love that you mentioned that because it's not superficial, is what I'm
No,
getting at.
you
It's
connect to the divine. That's like what it does. There's nothing else to it. You just start connecting to the divine. And once you connect to the divine, God, whoever you want to call it, your life literally changes. Like, your life is completely different. So I think that's kind of what I did, and what, everybody goes through when they do any type of spiritual practice. So I wouldn't even say that Kundalini Yoga kind of changed my life specifically. I would say the combination of everything, the combination of like changing my, what I eat, what I put into my body, and combining it with yoga and, listening to motivational speakers and traveling, all of that kind of changed my life. So Kundalini Yoga kind of just played a part. It was
I
just a
love
piece of the puzzle for me.
It's so true because there's not just one piece. Everything is connected, and it really and
Everything's
I feel
connected
this
to
yeah,
everything.
everything, including everyone. Oh, wow, that's so awesome. I'm curious what kind of food you do eat. What does your diet look like? And I hate to use the word diet, but you understand what I mean. I just mean
Yeah. My diet, it's so funny when people ask me that. Sometimes people ask me, what do you eat for breakfast every day? Lunch every day? I literally every day I eat something completely different. But if I were
Mhm,
to give you, if I were to give you like a typical day of what I eat, it's very simple. It is not complicated. The simpler, the better.
mhm,
Literally in the morning, I'm gonna have like my favorite breakfast is literally just fruit.
mhm.
And one more thing before I go into the food, what has really like changed me is not eating for prolonged periods of time. And I know that's also controversial because
Yeah.
people are saying, like, oh, you're really skinny, you're going to lose weight, you're anorexic, blah, blah, blah. But it's literally, I literally grew like 4 extra inches in the last like 4 months just because I did intermittent fasting, where I stopped
Mhm,
eating at like 6 p.m. and I start eating 10 a.m. the next day. So it's not just what you eat, it's also like when you eat.
mhm.
So in the morning, I usually have like oranges or like mostly fruit. I could have like 4 oranges in the morning, and that's enough for me. Or it's kind of funny though, and it actually fills me up, like no joke.
Yep, I believe
Um, and for lunch, I like to have wow, I don't even know. For lunch, I like to have maybe some like chicken breast with some, I don't know, some soup or something. I don't
it.
even know. I have to think about this more, but usually I eat pretty much like fruits, vegetables, some fish. And in Montenegro, the fish here is out of this world. So a lot of fish here. They have amazing seafood. So my diet actually changes based on which country I'm in. So like in the US, it
Ah,
was completely different, right?
mhm.
Because, it's just different. And here I have a lot of fish and I try to eat more fruit, even though some people say that it's sugary. Refined sugar is bad. White bread is bad, but fruit is not bad. Fruit is a really like, it's just good for you, and it makes you feel really good. And yeah, I've been obsessed with fruit lately.
That's that's interesting because, that's kind of where I am right now. My fruit obsession is, like, through the roof.
What's your favorite fruit?
It really changes, but I really love cherries and blueberries.
I
I
love
love
cherries so much.
them
I
too.
love oranges and
So do
apples a
I.
lot.
Well, the problem for me is that I don't always like the ones I get, so I'm always and I don't wanna waste
Um,
food, so I'm kinda,
yeah.
but when I get a
Yeah,
good one,
the
oh my goodness.
oranges here, the oranges here, because they're seasonal and local right now, they're out of this
Mhm.
world.
Oh, I love that. So I'm doing this thing. It's a I'm not going to describe it well. So I'm just going to
Okay.
say it is a spiritual program that I'm working through right now. And one of the recommendations is to eat about 70 to 85% raw. So it's
That's
been a
incredible.
little bit of a change. But not really actually, because I'm getting more nutrients. I'm not eating as much, but my body's getting
Right.
way more nutrients than it ever has. So
When we always eat, our body doesn't have time to heal. It doesn't have time to rest or, revitalize itself. And so,
yeah.
like, when I literally just, because, in school, when kids go to school, it's just snacking, 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 snacking. And your body literally doesn't know what the hell's going on, and it just can't recharge. And if you've ever noticed, like, why are some kids shorter than others? Well, it's
Mhm,
not genes, actually. It may be genes, but it's not
mhm.
100% your genes for sure. Like, my family's really short, and I'm like really tall, not really tall, but I'm taller than them. And I feel like it's because of what I eat, and it's because of believe it or not, the space where I don't eat throughout the day. Like, if you guys try this out, where you literally eat breakfast, no snacks, you wait
Mhm.
4 hours, then have lunch, 4 hours dinner, and then like dinner after that. And if you have your dinner really early, that literally changes everything.
That's really well said. And that's so controversial in
I
Orange
know,
County, but I'm with you.
really.
I mean, that's how I like to eat, so I get it. I've never
I know.
been every 2 to 3 hours kind of girl. It's just never been my thing. My body's not made like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I'm hungry and I need something
Yeah,
else,
of
I'll
course.
eat, but I know a lot of people, especially in the United States, don't know when they're actually hungry. There's just
Because of
maybe
the
they're hungry.
insulin spikes. Like
Yeah,
they just don't know. Yeah.
or it's an emotional hunger. And so they're trying to feed something else and think if they put in that, whatever, maybe it's a potato chip that they'll, feel full. It's an
So
emptiness.
funny.
Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. So I'm just curious too. So your parents, they allow you to be you. It sounds to me like your parents take the idea of that you you came through them, but you're not theirs, if that makes sense. Is that
Yeah,
am I
that makes
understanding?
sense. Yeah,
And
perfectly said.
don't you have siblings?
I do. I have one brother. His name is Daniel, and he's 16. So he is like a year and 7 months younger than me.
So how do you get along? I mean, is it a normal, typical sibling relationship, or do you think it's a little bit different because you're a little bit more enlightened? Is he the same way?
Yeah, so me and my brother used to fight a lot when we were little, obviously, but now we have like a really good relationship. And he is, I would say I'm a little more into like yoga and meditation,
Mhm.
but honestly, he is also really spiritual. Like we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So it's just that like
Mhm.
along the way, sometimes we forget and resist. But yeah, he is also into all of this stuff because he's literally surrounded by it 24/7. Like I wouldn't say, my parents and my brother or me, I wouldn't say that we're all perfect. Sometimes we have those days where we're not meditating all the time. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's into that as well. Maybe a little less than me, but he's getting there.
I just find that really fascinating because I have a cousin Kaya, and so she raised her boys to be a little bit well, they kind of remind me of you in a way. I should say it, just that they're more free to be themselves and they're not lost necessarily in the technological world. So I just feel like you actually are living your life and not just sort of cruising through it. And that's
Yes.
something that I wish that a lot of people could recognize and even for their own selves, but maybe seeing you here doing this will actually help too. So, but here's
Yeah, I'm
hoping.
so grateful for my parents, but the thing is, I really don't want anyone out there to think that like I was I was born into like a rich family. Like I'm really lucky to have amazing parents. Like no. It's not
Mhm.
that's not the case for sure. Like my parents aren't perfect to be honest with you. And I
Yeah,
feel like it just happened where, they're not um into like we're not doing all of this like spiritual stuff all the time. So it's not like our days are always perfect. It's just that we prioritize like our time on that a little bit more than other things. But yeah, I feel like I decided to do this. Like I decided to
yes.
go on this like spiritual path and stuff. It's not that they forced me into it or like they tried to convince me to do it. It's just kind of like I was offered like the opportunity and I just decided to. And trust me, there's so many kids out there like me. So there are kids that aren't into all this stuff. And it's not because they're not into spirituality or health. Everybody is. It's just that maybe somebody told them something about it and they got a wrong first impression. And because kids go to school, to be honest with you, they don't really learn the right stuff. I know this is a controversial topic, but they don't. In nutrition class, they talk about, eating a lot to like stay in shape. Like, no, that's not right. And
Yeah,
so it's just
and
that
milk.
kids just get the wrong information about some topics, and they're also in their own little matrix. And we've been brainwashed to believe certain things. But I decided to like I said, I made a choice. I made a decision. I made like this commitment that I just don't want to believe all of those things. And yeah.
I'm really impressed by that. I just want to reiterate too for everybody that's watching is that because I know when I first started on my own journey, I was thinking, I don't want to give up all this stuff. I'll never be like that. And so I just never even bothered to try. And, that's not at all what you're saying. So what I'm hearing you say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're still normal, you're still human.
Exactly.
You just prioritize different things. Like, think about, it's not any more different than some dad watching Monday Night Football. That's a priority to some people. I can't relate to that at all, but I'm just saying that's a priority to some people. And, other people is having dinner together at night every evening or whatever. That's what I'm hearing you say. And I also want to point out that you are a teenager. Nobody could force you. You're a teenager. That is like the antithesis. You're going to be doing whatever you want.
Exactly. It's like,
yes.
we all have our own free will to do what we want. And,
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, there's like parents out there that are so strict on their kids that it's like a kid wants to get homeschooled and they want to do what I'm doing, but their parents are like, no, you go to school, you do this. And that is definitely a difficult situation to be in. I cannot imagine being in that situation. And that's okay if you're in that situation, or if your kid's in that situation. To be honest with you, it's like like I said, learn how to adapt to certain situations and make the most of them, right? So if your parents are strict and they're not allowing you to be homeschooled, can you maybe do a little less homework, or can you just, 5 minutes a day, do a meditation before you go to school? Or what are the little things that you can do to accelerate momentum and improve your life? We shouldn't be, sometimes we wait for the perfect moment to change. There's never such thing as a perfect moment, ever. Like, you could wait for the next 100 years, there's no such thing. So it's like, find any moment and just start and begin your journey. It doesn't matter where you live, what you do, what's your financial status, or anything. It's like, just begin, just make a commitment. That's it.
That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. You've dropped so many gems. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I'm really impressed. I knew I would be, but so for the audience that doesn't know, I just really had some super bad news the last couple days, and half of me was like, I want to just like maybe not do this today, or that kind. I was starting to have that kind of attitude. But then I thought, it's Shelly, and when am I going to have this opportunity? She's on the move. I gotta tell you, I'm so glad that you are here, because um, it's such a good reminder, especially when things are not going your way, or the way that you want them to go, I should say, that you can take control of your thoughts and your feelings, and you can make the best of the situation. And, choosing to think of the positive things instead of the negative parts. So I love
And
that.
yes, choosing to think of the positive and, not really think about the negative, but you shouldn't like ignore the negative emotions, because what
Yeah.
happens is, what the way people suffer is they feel an emotion. We're all humans, we feel an emotion, and then we attach to it, and that causes suffering. But it's like, yes, you should think of the positive, but forcing yourself, I remember this amazing quote, I have to find it. Forcing yourself to be positive is actually negative, but allowing yourself to be negative is actually positive sometimes. Strange, right? So it's kind of like, just letting yourself feel anything that you need to feel. And of course, being positive, because what you think most of the time you'll get, right? So that's also really important.
No, I love that. And, another way that I would put it too is, yeah, and honor your feelings, but you don't have to live there. Like, you don't have to camp in them forever. And that's the thing. Like, right now I'm in grieving, so it's kind of like this up and down, and I'm enjoying the ups, and I'm like knowing when I'm down that it's not going to last forever. So it's
Exactly.
just, and enjoy the good times when you are feeling them. So, oh, that's so brilliant, though. Yeah, you are definitely quite a force to be reckoned with. So my question for you, though, is, since there really isn't like in-person speaking events, how are you doing things online like this, or how are you speaking? Or is it kind of on hold for now?
Yeah, so actually it's kind of on hold for now, but I would say 2 months ago, I did my very own show.
That's right.
called Take Your Power Back Live, which unfortunately is unavailable to watch now. Long story. But yeah, I did a show and I'm planning to eventually do a little more, but I'm not a big fan of doing things online. I just do those videos on Instagram, and I'm actually on other people's shows more than ever right now. So if you guys want to see me in other shows, I'm not hosting my own, but I'm in other people's shows. We'll put some links down below. But I'm just planning on just waiting until everything opens back up, which is going to be soon, I guarantee. And so right now I'm kind of just preparing myself for that. I am not sure yet, but I have been talking with Julie and Lynn from World's Greatest Motivators.
Yes.
And I actually think I could do this. I might actually be one of the speakers at their next event because they're doing this thing, which I don't want to share yet, which might involve some kid speakers. So when everything opens back up, they're going to do another event. And so I'm looking forward to that. But currently, I'm not really doing anything at the moment.
I got to tell you something very interesting. When I was writing the copy for this particular episode, I actually wrote that you would be on that stage. So,
oh my gosh, really? Oh, that's so crazy. How did you know?
I just did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
It's
funny.
amazing. And I feel like it's kind of crazy. Like when I look back, sitting in that audience, I even have a testimonial that I did for World's Greatest Motivators. I could show it to you later. But I was telling the story of how I was literally sitting in the front row, looking up at the speakers with so much love and so much compassion. I wanted to be just like them. And at that moment, I knew I was going to be on that stage as well one day. And so that kind of sparked this amazing journey for me where it's like I saw those speakers and I saw the way that they made people feel. And I just wanted to be on that stage, not for recognition or for fame. None of that, I guarantee you. I actually wanted to help. I want to serve. And I want to, be an example for kids my age, because a lot of kids see all of these adult speakers and, great, but they can't relate to them. There's no real deep connection. But if they see somebody who's their age who could speak their language, then it's like a totally different story. So yeah, hopefully very soon.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm actually blown away. I mean, I don't know how I knew it. I just I want to say I called it. That is so cool. Yeah. And Lynn and Julie are such amazing women. They are so inspirational.
Powerhouses. Oh my God.
They really are. Oh my gosh. They're so amazing. We are almost out of time. We got about a minute left. And I was just hoping that maybe you might want to, any lasting words or anything you want to mention?
Yeah. So I would say right now it's really important to not do too many things at once. I don't know if you guys have been feeling these like weird energies going on. Like, if you know what I mean, like maybe you're a little more anxious than usual, or you're just a little more depressed than usual, or there's some emotion that's just too much. And that's because the earth is, we entered the Aquarian age on this December 21st, if you're aware of that. So things are actually, it's not just like a myth. The world is literally shifting into more light. And so right now it is very, very, very important to stay really grounded, do more deep breathing, meditate more than you usually do, focus on you more than you usually do. It is very important right now. Try not to like seek too many things outside of you, because I've tried that and that just causes more anxiety. So just coming back to yourself, trying Kundalini Yoga if you can, and just really being present right now and not focusing on, your future too much. Try to be in the present as much as possible. So.
Well, Shelly, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to see you again and hear your wonderful words of wisdom. And I'm looking forward to seeing you up on that stage.
Yes, thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, isn't she amazing? Oh, I just love her. I can't believe that. I'm so excited and I can't wait to see what she does next. So until next time, we'll see you.